Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, so we did first shloka of the Bhagavad Gita, where Dhritarashtra was asking the question to Sanjay that once my sons and the sons of Pandu they assembled, what did they do? And the response to that, Sanjay started to narrate that how Duryodhan went to Dronacharya and started speaking the following words. So we'll start from third shloka today. Please repeat after me. Pashyaitam Panduputranam Pashyaitam Panduputranam
पाण्डुपुत्राणाम्
Acharya Mahatim Jamum Acharya
आचार्य
Mahatim
महति क्षमम्
Vyudham Drupadaputrena Vyudham
व्यूढा
Drupadaputrena
द्रुपदपुत्रेण
Tava Shishyena Dhimata Tava
तव
Shishyena
शिष्येन
Dhimata.
धीमता.
Okay. So anyone can volunteer to read the translation?
I
Anybody
can.
available?
Yes,
Yes, please, Pankaj.
yes, I
Translation. Oh my
translate.
teacher. Okay.
Pankaj, you continue.
Okay. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada.
Thank you. So here, Duryodhan is referring to his teacher, Dronacharya, and showing him the army of the Pandus. And he's basically pointing out the person who has arranged it. So the commander, one of the chief commanders, was the son of Drupad. So Drupad and Drona, they were both um, in the same Gurukul. They were in the same school. So Drupada's son is the one whose name is Drishtadyumn. He was the chief and he had arranged and organized the army, of course, in conjunction with Pandavas. So we'll read the purport and then we'll talk a little bit more about this. Pankaj, you want to continue reading the purport as well?
Yes. Purport. Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya, the great Brahman commander in chief. Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet, as a liberal Brahmana, he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets when the son of Drupada, Drishtadrumya, was entrusted to him for military education. Now, on the battle of Kurukshetra, Drishtadrumya took the side of the Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for the military phalanx after having learned the art from Dronacharya. Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya's so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By this, he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya affectionate students. Arjuna, especially, was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Duryodhana also warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat.
Thank you so much for reading. So in this particular section, Dronacharya and Drupad, who were actually friends in the Gurukul, it is mentioned that they had some quarrel. So what exactly was the quarrel? So we'll talk a little bit about that. So they were actually very good friends. Um, Drona and Drupad, because they were in the same Gurukul, they were very good friends. One was Brahman, one was Kshatriya, and they were having nice exchanges. So one time, Drupad told Drona that we are friends and when we graduate, I'll go back and I will become the king. So when I become the king, I will actually give you half of my kingdom. So he was feeling very generous to his friend. He said, I'll give you half of the kingdom. And Drona, he said, okay, that's fine. And they just both parted after that. Oh, my screen is not visible. Sorry,
It
my screen.
was visible. Now it's not visible. Earlier it was visible.
Is it
It's not
okay?
visible now. It's just showing started sharing screen, but screen was not visible.
Hmm.
Still not visible.
Yeah, I was showing the presentation, the PowerPoint. I don't know if you were able to
Oh,
see that
we were not seeing the PowerPoint. We were just seeing.
now.
Yeah, now we can see. Now we can see the
Okay,
PowerPoint.
yeah, yeah. So this is basically, how previously they were both in the Gurukul with Agnivisha was actually the guru for both of them, and then later they both um, were having friendly discussion, and then they both departed. They went to their own place. So when they went to their own places, Drona obviously was Brahmin and he was not having much resources. He was living very simple life. But one time came when he became so poor that he did not even have proper food and proper basic necessities, especially for his son, Ashwathama. And Drona's wife was also feeling very disheartened. Seeing all this, Drona remembered, okay, yes, Drupad had given me, a promise, or rather, he gave me a word that he will give me the whole half of his kingdom. So let me just go and talk to him and say. So he went in the palace, and Drupada, in this situation, acted in a little weird manner. He did not properly welcome Drona, and when Drona came, he started insulting and making fun of Drona when Drona pointed this out that, hey, you did this promise. He felt that this was a very inappropriate for Drona to bring this kind of promise because it's not at the realm of possibility for him to give him half his kingdom. So Drona, of course, he came. Drupada behaved in this manner. Drona was feeling very insulted and he left. So when Drona left from there, he actually later on got this duty or service of training the prince. So many princes were there. All the princes were trained by Drupada. In fact, in his school or in his academy, there were kings who will send their children from all over the world to get trained. So Pandav and Kaurav, they were both trained here, and once they were trained, they were actually able to um, do so many different kind of martial techniques, martial arts. And after they graduated, they asked Drona what can they give him as Guru Dakshina. So it is a duty of the student to give Guru Dakshina as an offering after they graduate. So at that time, Drona said, I want you to go challenge Drupada, defeat him, and bring him alive in front of me. So Duryodhan and his brothers, 100 brothers, they said, we'll go and do it right now. So they took all army, they took Karna, they all went. But Drupad was very, very strong and powerful. They could not defeat him. In fact, they got defeated and were sent back. But when the Dronacharya heard this, Dronacharya at that time allowed the Pandavas. Pandavas wanted to go, and he said, "Now you go. Now it's your turn." So Pandavas did not take any army, just five of them went, and just by the skill and the power of Arjuna, Bhima, and the other Pandavas, they were actually not only able to defeat Drupada and his whole army, but they were able to capture Drupada and was able to bring Drupada. So now, when Drupad was brought in front of Drona, Drona said, "Even though you were my friend, you forgot the words you said that you will give half of your kingdom to me, but I did not forget. So I will I have captured you, my disciples have captured you, and they have given it to me, and I can easily take all of your kingdom. But I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to take half of your kingdom, and half I'll let you, rule. So I'll release you, and you rule half of your kingdom." Now, Drupad, he's a Kshatriya, and Kshatriyas, they are supposed to actually have honor and dignity. And this was a big insult to Drupada. So Drupad decided, I have to take revenge and I have to kill Drona. So he was trying to get powers, he was trying to get stronger, he was trying to uh, make a plan for this. And he was going to different Brahmanas to get them to help. But they said, hey, you are planning to kill a Brahman. Drona is a Brahman. And Brahma Hatya is a very, very big sin. We are not going to, be part in this kind of an activity. So the Drupada kept trying, and finally one Brahman, he felt pity and he understood that what he's wanting to do. So he said, okay, we'll do a yajna for you. And in in that yajna, which was performed by Drupad, by the end of the yajna, from the fire appeared a beautiful girl with a dark complexion, as well as a very, very handsome and powerful boy who came out like fighting practically. So this boy, his name was Drishtadyum, and the girl, her name was Draupadi. So at that time, it was predicted that this Drishtadyumna will actually kill Drona. So he was a young boy, and like the whole tradition was that had become that all the prince for training they were going to the best place, which is the school of Dronacharya. So Drupad also told his son to go and get training at Dronacharya's place, his academy. So when he approached there, Dronacharya had already sensed and he had the information that, hey, this could be the person who will kill me. But because it was his duty to take care of um, all the princes and train them nicely so that they can do service to their kingdom, Drona agreed to train. So this was, in one sense, a generosity or magnanimity of or Drona, that in spite of all these challenges, he was agreeable to take care of Drupada's son. So this is what is being pointed out by Duryodhan here, that hey, you did a big mistake training Drupada's son, whom even though Dronacharya uh, heard just Drupada's son, the idea was to point out the word Drupad. Drupad, who is actually you're not in good terms with. So the indirect reference was here made to instigate Drona so that he feels that okay, I have to fight and I have to not become lenient when it comes to Pandav and not have to do things which could harm me later. Just like now, Drupad has arranged the army and is in front of. Sorry, Drishtadyum has arranged the army and is in front of me. So this is how Duryodhan was using the words to instigate the people in his army. So, um, coming back to our shloka. So this was the third shloka of the Bhagavad Gita. Now we'll go to the fourth shloka of this chapter. Anybody would like to mention anything in this regard? Any questions, any comments, any points? Okay, we'll go to the next shloka. Please repeat after me. Atra shura maheshwasa
अत्र
अत्र
शूरा
शूरा
महेश्वासा
महेश्वासा
भीमर्जुन समायुधि
भीम अर्जुन समायुधि
समायुधि
युयुधानो विराटश्च
युयुधानो
युयुधानो विराटश्च
विराटश्च
द्रुपदश्च महारथा.
द्रुपदश्च
द्रुपदश्च
महारथा.
महारथा.
Okay, who would like to read this translation? Anybody else would like to read?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes, please.
Hare Krishna. Just translation, please.
Yeah, you can read translation and purport.
Here in this army are many heroic women, equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters like Yuyudhana, Virat, and Drupad. Purport. Even though Drishtadyumna was not a very important obstacle in the face of Dronacharya, very great power in the military art, there were many others who were causes of fear. They are mentioned by Duryodhan as great stumbling blocks on the path of victory because each and every one of them was as formidable as Bhima and Arjun. He knew the strength of Bhima and Arjun, and thus he compared the others with them.
Thank you. Thank you so much for reading that. So this is very interesting. So when he named the son of Drupada, Drishtadyumna, one may think Drishtadyumna, he's not very strong. I mean, what's a big deal? So Duryodhan, when he said this, Duryodhan immediately said the next thing, hey, not just Drishtadyumna. There are so many other very, very powerful soldiers and generals in their army. And he's comparing them to Bhima and Arjun. So Bhim and Arjun were kind of the limit. Like they were the ones whom Duryodhan always was afraid and scared of in his heart and heart. And because he was afraid and scared, he always was thinking that eventually Bhima is someone I have to fight with. So he used to practice again and again fighting. He had trained himself under Lord Balaram, who was a very wonderful teacher for the mace. So mace fight, he was able to train himself, but he was always thinking, how can I, how can I take care of Arjun? This Arjun, eventually I will have a fight, but how will I fight with Arjun is a big question. Bhima, he knew that he will have to fight, but what about Arjun? And finally, he was able to see Karna, who came during the time of their graduation, where everybody was showing their skills. And as soon as he saw Karna, he understood, oh my God, this is a person I have to start making friendship with. So he identified Karna to be competent to challenge Arjun. So he said, I am going to somehow or the other get Karna on my side. So at that time, when Karna was being asked, what is your lineage? Where do you belong? Whom do you have? Who are your parents? At that time, seeing Karna not having too much help, he immediately supported and won the trust of Karna. And at that time, when he won the trust and won, um, Karna saw the support coming from Duryodhan. Karna at that time immediately gave, in one sense, his heart to Duryodhan, that hey, this is the person who was with me, so I'll do everything. So, like that, he was able to win Karna's heart, and also was able to award Karna with the whole kingdom of Anga. He said, I'll make you the king of Anga. So now Arjun and Bhima, who were the always in the mind of Duryodhan, he's saying these are very, very strong, but similar to those people are Yuyudhan, Virat, and Drupad. So Drupad, previously as I had discussed, Duryodhan and party, they had gone to Drupad and they had got defeated. So he was very, very powerful. And then the other powerful king or kingdom was of Virat. So Virat was the kingdom where the Pandavas lived during the time of incognito or Agyatvas. During Agyatvas or incognito, 1 year Pandavas had to live at a place which was hidden from everybody. Duryodhan should not be able to find them out. If Duryodhan or anybody is able to trace them during that 1 year, then according to the rules or the bet, Pandavas had to go back for 13 years um, to the forest. So, like that, Duryodhan's plan was that every 13 years, in the last year, he will try to find where they are and have them go back for 13 years. And like that, they will have to live their life in forest only. So, this was the strategy which he had come up with before the gambling match. And the gambling match, of course, went in favor of Duryodhan, and at that time, the first 13 years they were in the forest, and last part of the 13 years they were in the kingdom of Virat. So, like that, these are different kings who were very, very powerful in this army. So, we'll just check key points. So, second, third shloka. So, in this particular, we second shloka, we heard that how Duryodhan was expert politician and diplomat. So that's why the word Raja was used for him. And Duryodhan was referring Drishtadyumna as son of Drupada, and Dhritarashtra distinguished Pandavas from Kurus. This is the first shloka. So again, in the so we'll come to this after we have done some more shlokas. We'll go to the shloka fifth now. Can everybody repeat after me? Drishtiketuschekitana
धृष्टकेतुश्च केतिन कितानः
Kashirajascha Viryavan
काशीराजश्च वीर्यवान्
Purujit Kunti Bhojascha
पुरुजित कुन्तिभोजश्च
Shaibhyascha Narapungavaha.
शैब्यश्च नरपुङ्गवः.
So these are some other kings who were very, very powerful. Drishtiketu, Chekitana, Kashiraj, Purujit, Kunti Bhoj, and Shaibya. These are the names of these kings. So they are also great, heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chaikitana, Kashiraj, Purujit, Kunti Bhoj, and Shaibya. So he's basically enumerating the powerful kings on that side. So we'll keep reading. Please repeat. Yudhamanyuscha Vikranta
युधामन्युश्च
मस्त
विक्रान्ता
Uttamaujaschа Viryavan
उत्तमौजाश्च
उत्तमौजाश्च वीर्यवान्
वीर्यवान्
सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयश्च
सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयश्च
सौभद्रद्रौपदेयश्च
सर्व एव महारथा.
सर्व
सर्व एव महारथा.
महारथा.
Can anybody read the translation for this?
I
Yes.
can read again. Oh, go ahead, ma'am.
There
Yes,
are
go
the
ahead.
mighty. Should I?
Anshika? Yes.
There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamaja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So Duryodhan is naming all the powerful people on the other side and basically saying that, hey, these are Maharathi. These are very, very powerful people. So there are different gradations of these warriors also. Some are Ardharathi, some are Rathi, some are Maharathi. So depending upon how many people they can actually fight with at one time and how they can overcome the other party. So Maharathi are very, very powerful. They can fight with so many soldiers and so many people at the same time. So he's pointing out Yudhamanyu Uttamoja, son of Subhadra. So that is Abhimanyu. So he's specifically mentioning, and he was very, very powerful, son of Abhimanyu, son of Subhadra, who's Abhimanyu. And then sons of Draupadi. So Draupadi had 5 sons with each of the 5 Pandavas, and these were all great fighters. So 4 to 6 shloka here. So all these fighters who are fighting from the side of Pandavas, these are actually doing it in favor of Dharma. So they are actually on the right side, and they are Maharathi. They are very, very powerful. On the other hand, Duryodhan's army, which we'll be reading in subsequent shloka, they are actually having uh, to fight under Duryodhan for uh, pleasing Duryodhana or Dhritarashtra, but it's actually on the side of adharma. So this is going to be the difference. Even though they are doing the same activity, but actually the results will be different. So we'll read one more shloka. Actually, because these are small, we can cover more in one day. Asmakam tu vishishtaye
अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये
तान्निबोध द्विजोत्तमा
तान्निबोध द्विजोत्तम
नायका मम संयस्य
नायका मम संयस्य
सम्नार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते.
संज्ञार्थत्रान् ब्रवीमि ते.
I'll read this translation. But for your information, O best of Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. So Duryodhan was saying about the army of Pandavas in the last few shlokas. And as he was doing this, his idea was just to make sure that everybody is alert and they don't take the other party leniently and they get strong. So he was saying, hey, in the other party, there are very, very strong and powerful people, kings, generals. And he was enumerating, naming them. But then he's thinking, Duryodhan is thinking, if I tell too much about the other party, people will get demoralized. They may start getting depressed, that, oh, they are very powerful. So now he's saying, hey, but now hear about our party. Our team also has a very qualified military force. So he's going to talk about our party. So we'll continue to read. भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च भवान्
भवान्
भीष्मश्च
भीष्मश्च
कर्णश्च
कर्णश्च
कृपश्च समितिञ्जया
कृपश्च समितिञ्जय
अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च
अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च
सोमदत्तिस्तथैव च.
सौमदत्तिस्तथैव च.
So he's talking to Drona. So he's starting by naming Drona first. He's saying Bhavan. Bhavan is like आप हैं. So Bhavan, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava. So I'll read. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava who are always victorious in battle. So if we see, um, In the whole army of Duryodhan, the most powerful warrior actually was Bhishma. And Bhishma was the commander, he's the chief, he's the in charge. He had won so many battles, he had never been defeated. He was so strong and powerful, and he was actually very, very old, but still he was as powerful as ever. So Bhishma was never defeated, and Bhishma could have been named first, but because he was talking to Drona, he named Dronacharya first. And also, Drona is Brahman, while Bhishma is Kshatriya. So, Brahmans can always be respected first. So, he is thinking all these things before actually naming. So, he was very clever politician, Duryodhan. So he's saying, you, Bhishma, Karna. Now, Karna, it's interesting that he's naming Karna here, even though Karna is not in the battlefield. So, like I had mentioned, that Karna was a very, very close friend of Duryodhan because Duryodhan had won the trust of Karna. And after that, Karna had become practically sold out to Duryodhan. That whatever you want, we'll do. In fact, Karna, even though he was not necessarily having bad personality, but when you are associating with bad association, then you tend to act in that way. You get peer pressure. So when Duryodhan was with Karna, the influence of Duryodhan and party also started acting on Karna, and he acted in wrong manner. So during the gambling match, he was the one who said, "Hey," uh, when it was said, "Hey, Draupadi is being brought so disrespectfully in the assembly." So Karna, he said, "What disrespect? A lady like this, even if she is brought without any clothes, then also there is no disrespect." At that time, Duryodhan got an idea. Okay, yes, remove her clothes. So then he ordered um, his brother Ashwathama, uh, Duryodhan, Dushasan. He said his brother Dushasan, "Hey, remove her clothes." So this is how Karna also was similar, doing similarly wrong behavior. And Karna is not in the battlefield because Karna was having some misunderstanding with Bhishma. So in the beginning of the fight, Duryodhan asked everybody, "Okay, what is your assessment? How long the fight will be there, and how soon can we win?" So different people were telling different time. Somebody was saying, the fight will go on for 30 days, but we should be able to win in 30 days. Somebody was saying, no, 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 not 30 days. Probably, uh, like 3 weeks. Somebody was saying we can win. Karna said, it'll take me only few days. I'll finish the whole army. Less than a week, something like that. He said 5 days, something very small. So when everybody heard this, and Bhishma said, Karna, you are saying this, but when have your words actually translated into a solid action? We all met Arjun in Virat, and there was a fight after the 1 year of Agyatavas or incognito period. Many of you know that Arjun had fought with all the Kurus: Bhishma, Drona, Ashwathama, Karna, Duryodhan, Dushasan, Shakuni, everybody. And they were all excited that, oh, they have found Arjun. But Arjun was furious because of the anger. For last 13 years, he was actually having to suffer with his family and all the insult and everything which Duryodhan did to Draupadi and everybody. He was remembering all of that and he is furious. And in that anger and curiosity, Arjun was uncontrollable and he single handedly defeated everybody, included Karna. And at that time, Bhishma said that, hey, when have your words translated into action? And that angered Karna. And Karna said, I can defeat the Pandavas alone, but I will not fight till the time the commander is Bhishma. So Duryodhan was thinking, okay, maybe I should change the commander. But then Shakuni said, hey, listen, better continue with Bhishma. If Bhishma is there, then so many other kings are supporting us. If Bhishma goes, you don't know about the other kings. So Duryodhan said, okay. Karna, anyways, he sold out to me. So let me just first have Bhishma fight, and then later on, we can always, if needed, we can always have Karna join us. So, like that, Duryodhana was very clever politician, and he was very good at making alliances and different things. And of course, he was supported by Shakuni and all these other people. So Karna was actually not in the battlefield at that time, but he was predominantly in the mind of Duryodhan. That's why he is pointing Karna out here. Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and Somadatta. So these were also very, very powerful. Ashwath Kripa was one of the teachers of Pandava and Kauravas. Before Dronacharya came, Kripacharya was teaching Pandava and Kauravas. But Bhishma knew that he wants the Pandavas and Kauravas to learn even the higher, science of weaponry, Devyastra, or the weapons used by the demigods. So that knowledge Kripa did not have, but Dronacharya had. So he wanted Dronacharya to come. And Ashwathama was the son of Drona, and he was also very powerful. Now Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhan, and even though Vikarna is not extraordinarily powerful like others, he is actually named here because Vikarna was the only one who had objected to the misbehavior towards Draupadi and Pandavas. So while Duryodhan was highlighting all the powerful people, he named Vikarna just to please Vikarna because other people are also hearing what Drona was saying. So, what Duryodhan was saying. So, Duryodhan, when he named Vikarna, his thought was okay, let me also feel Vikarna, let me also give Vikarna a feeling that he is being appreciated here. So, his loyalty stays with us, and he also is motivated and inspired to fight. So all these things Duryodhana is thinking. So this is the reason in the second shloka, Sanjay was using the word Raja because he's good in Rajniti, all this politics. So in purport, it's mentioned Duryodhan mentions the exceptional heroes in the battle, all of whom are ever victorious. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhan, Ashwasthama is the son of Dronacharya, and Somadatti or Bhurishrava is the son of king of Bahlikas. Karna is the half brother of Arjun as he was born of Kunti before her marriage with King Pandu. Kripacharya's twin sister married Dronacharya. So Kripacharya, his sister's name was Kripi, and Kripi was the wife of Dronacharya. So that's how they were related. Karna, as you know, many of you or all of you, that Karna was the son of Kunti, who was given to Kunti by the sun god. Sun god gave Kunti a child before her marriage, and Kunti, because she was not married, she actually had to depart, had to part away from this child, and this child was brought up by another family who were not Kshatriyas. They were more like Suta, which is like the chariot driver for the kings. So that's Karna. So like that, these great and powerful generals are being named by Duryodhan, which are belonging to his own army. So we'll stop here. We read till 8th shloka. So we'll read ninth next week. Anybody would like to share any thoughts, any points, any questions, comments, anything from what we read so far today?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It was a
Ah,
very nice lecture, and there were a lot of things which I didn't know and got to know a lot of new information as well. But remembering everything will be difficult. I think I will have to revise again to remember all these things. So it was very nice. Hare Krishna.
thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining. So I will upload the session in the channel, so that way if anybody would like to listen, if anything anybody missed, or people who did not join today and would like to hear, they can share as well. So they can hear as well. So we'll stop here.